This commands tutorial will describe the steps that you need to follow to send controls to remote devices. Most of these controls will be sent via the graphical icons on the screens, but you can also set the value of internal user-defined indications this way, and we will show you the benefits of doing this later in the video. To begin this tutorial, we will navigate to the Open Shipping screen in Display Creator. There are 4 methods that can be used to send controls to remote devices. First, you can set control menus that will be presented when you click on an icon. Then you will define the control or controls to be sent when each specific menu is selected. So during runtime, if the operator selects this icon, the HMI station will display a dynamically sized window with the menus that you created. Each menu selection can send many controls if so designed. The exception is for analog controls. So if you assign an analog control to a menu, the operator will be presented with an additional window to enter the analog value. In this case, each menu can only be assigned to one analog control. We will explore the first menu option as the most common. To set command menus, click on a breaker icon. You can see the shortcut VC button is green, indicating that the icon has controls already assigned. So we're going to remove these commands and recreate them so you can see how we do it. So go ahead and select the button RC for Remove Command Expressions. The VC button is no longer green. Select this button to build our commands. You can also use the F3 function key to show this window. With the commands window showing, enter the first menu item. We will call this menu Open AC Breaker 1. On the lower list, double-click in the source column. When the selection window appears, choose the source GE1, then select the control AC Breaker 1 Open. This single control is all we need to send to the GE PLC to open the AC1 breaker. Go back to the top list and select Copy and then Paste. This creates a second menu item. Then modify the second menu to read Close AC Breaker 1. In the bottom list, modify the control to be the AC Breaker 1 Close control. And that's all there is to it. For the appearance of menus, you can set indications to disable or hide menus based on their values. For instance, if the breaker is already open, we can disable the Open menu. Or if the breaker is already closed, then we can disable the Close menu. So go ahead and watch as we demonstrate this. We've already discussed placing security levels on outgoing controls. So if the security level for a control is higher than the security level of the user, the control is blocked from being sent. However, the third tab on this command window allows the developer to put a password on the outgoing control. We don't recommend doing this often, but it is an available setting if you'd like it. Now let's close the command window and save the changes to the screen. The second type of control is immediately sent out when the icon is selected. Select the Valve Main Close button for this example. Double-click on the icon and notice that we have set the Bypass Controls menu to True in the Properties window. This will prevent the menus from displaying in the HMI Station application when the button is selected. Now investigate the commands for this Close button. In the commands window, you must still define one menu item with controls, but this menu will not display to the HMI Station operator. The control will be sent immediately. The only way to prevent it from being sent immediately is by selecting the Require a Confirmation step on the HMI through the Project Options window. The third method to send a control is with the analog input box graphic type. All of the tank alarm set point entry boxes on the shipping screen are configured as this type of graphic. The two major restrictions to using this graphic type is that first, the analog control must be defined as latched, and the second condition is that the indication name must match the control name exactly. Double-click on an analog box to see that it is assigned to a specific analog indication. The control name must be the same. When the user clicks on this input box, it goes into edit mode. The operator can enter a value with the keyboard. Floating points will be allowed only if the protocol to the PLC is set that way. Once the operator selects the enter key, the control is then sent. The edit portion disappears and the returning indication displays. So you can use this option only if the PLC is set up to stick to a value in a single register. This is typical in Modbus protocols. Or you would use this method if in the logic in the PLC echoes back an indication that was set by the control value it received. The fourth method to send controls is via a defined stored procedure interface. So you can build stored procedures inside the Nucleus developer, but we will describe that method for sending controls in another video demonstration. There is also one more control scenario we promised at the beginning of the tutorial. That promises the ability to set the value of indications through the command windows. And we will show an example of why we might want to do this. So go into the display creator and open the sample screen. Click on the Start button on the left side of the screen and then press F3 to open the command window. The digital control has a value of 999, but this column applies only to indications. Since the second entry has the indication box checked, this control is actually an indication and the value applies. The indication is set to a value of 1. On the Stop button, the same indication is listed, but the value is set to 0. We know from the expressions video that when this indication has a value of 0, the Stop button is red, and when it has a value of 1, then the Start button is green. So by setting each control, we are also setting the color of the button we just pressed, but it's more than that. The same indication can be used to affect other graphics on the screen. And you can use your imagination on how you want to take advantage of this feature. Now we will run the HMI station, the communication server, and the logic server to see how all of these controls programs perform. This concludes the Nucleus controls demonstration. Be sure to consult the Help Center documentation for more details on this functionality of the Nucleus platform.